All right, so we already know the iPhone 16 Pro series is coming out with that camera control button that literally nobody asked for when it comes to any of the design of the new iPhone. And the first thing that I thought about being an accessory head, a case head like myself, was how in the world are case manufacturers going to factor that button in? Are they going to do a cutout? Are they going to do a button? Are they going to be very lazy with it? What is going to happen? And I did a video recently of the best early recommendations for cases for the 16 Pro Max. If you want to check that video out, I will leave a link down below. That video is just basically letting you know of cases that you can go out there and get on Amazon, that you can get next day, same day, different things like that, so you can have your phone protected on day one. And in that comment section, nobody really spoke about cases. Everybody, the main topic was going to be the camera control button and how they didn't like that design. This design was a little bit better. I can kind of deal with that. So I said, you know what, T, let's get conversation going, man. And I got a small sub sample of the cases that I have, but each one of these four cases have a different style cutout, and we're going to actually have a conversation about each and every single one. And the thing about this video is it could potentially help someone out there who they may pick a case out and they say, hey, I kind of like that case, but I don't like the way that cutout is. Hopefully they can watch this video and kind of figure out how that button is going to perform with that design case. Now, of course, we got to wait till the phone actually gets here to see how these buttons are going to perform with the camera control button, but this can kind of give you an early thought process. And this video also can be very beneficial to brands because they can see this video and see some of the negative comments that I know are about to come about some of these cases are going to need to be corrected. So let's go ahead and start off with it. And the first case that we're going to go ahead and kick off, and let me move the other ones over here to the side. The first one we're going to kick off is going to be the Spigen Enzo Era Mid. Now, the way the Spigen went, and this is the way that I've seen on the majority of their cases, I think they have one ultra hybrid case that actually has the button. I think they're ultra hybrid T, but majority of Spigen cases are going to give you this open cutout with the bevel edges so you can kind of get your finger in there kind of smooth so you can press that button. Now, for dramatic effect, I'm going to take my iPhone 15 Pro Max and put it in the case. Now, no, this case does not fit, and let me get this notification off. No, it does not fit. The phone is actually loose in the case, but I wanted to show you kind of what you can expect it to look like with this type of design. Now, I feel like this wouldn't be too hard to do because you're still able to get your kind of your finger in that groove in order to get it. And this is going to be the first style case because they kept the frame intact of the phone, the case that goes all the way around. Now, here is what I like and I don't like about it. When you're holding it like this, it's going to feel real awkward with that button cutout right there. It kind of feels like something is potentially missing. But if you kind of get lower on your phone or you just feel it, and that just feels kind of awkward in my opinion. Now, does it dig in your hands or do anything like that? No, but it does have a slight awkward feeling being right there. And it just literally feels like something is missing. But that's exactly why I say companies need to do the kind of a beveled edge going in so the transition can be smoother with the button and actually getting your finger on the button to manipulate that camera control button. Now, one thing that I really hate about this design is you're going to have another point that's able to be weak when we are talking about a side of a case. We already know when it comes to the buttons, majority of cases makes this a little bit, flimsy. And even down here on the bottom, these are going to be your weak points when it comes to the case. And now they have added another weak point when it comes to this camera control button. So that is the first design that I don't really like when it comes to this, is because, you're going to have a weak point. It's kind of funky, kind of getting your finger in there, and it feels kind of weird depending on which way you hold your iPhone. So I think this is the way that a lot of companies are going to go with. And I'm going to show you another way that a lot of companies are going to go with. And I feel like this could be potentially changed to something like these two, which we will talk about a little bit later in the video. But this is going to be your most common cutout that you're going to see when it comes to these iPhone 16 Pro Max cases. Now, moving right along, this is one that had the most conversation about right here, and this is going to be the Mouse Limitless 6.0. Now, a lot of people were like, man, I love mouse cases, and mouse cases always been one of the favorites when it comes to the channel, but they just made a gigantic cutout for the actual camera control button. So this is what is called the most exaggerated cutout when it comes to the camera control. I mean, this thing just spared no size, and they said we're just going to cut a whole damn chunk out the side of the case so we consider it for that camera control button. This is the one that I probably don't like the most because you're going to leave a little part right here that's going to be exposed. Now, I'm kind of getting to the point now where I'm liking minimalist cases. More of my cases is exposed, but everybody doesn't want that, and they want every single part of their case to be covered up. So this can be an issue for that right there when it comes to this design. This also can be an area where dust can potentially get inside of your case and cause a little bit of damage. That is a thing, and that does happen for somebody who may not take their case off on a regular basis. Now, I'm not really going to get too much involved with this one. Actually, it's going to be pretty much the same as the Pataka case, except this is going to be on a very thin style level. So you can kind of get what's going on, but it looks super exaggerated when it comes to the Pataka case. I mean, you got a huge cutout here. You got a cutout right here. You got a cutout right there. You got a cutout down here. Hell, you might as well just have a bezel-less case at that point and just use one of those magnetic phone backs if that's going to be what it is of still cutting up and notching a minimalist case like this one right here. All right, this is just getting a little bit ridiculous when it comes to these things, man. So I really, this style cutout for me just really isn't going to do it, and it's really exaggerated on a more thicker style cases like your Mouse Limitless line, where it just looks a little bit egregious. And I know a lot of people are going to complain about this, and they're going to say this is probably AKA the laziest way to go about it. But I feel like this is what we're going to have to deal with this cycle. I just don't know how many case companies are going to take the time to update their cases to the correct way, which is going to be what we're going to get into right now. So far, we've seen basically go the huge cutout route. We've seen the one that keeps the frame intact with the bevel edges, not as bad, but does cause some issues. And we've seen the big bite out of damn crime when it comes to something like this Mouse Limitless case. Now, let's go ahead and go over to the ways that these case companies need to do it. Shout out to the ones who did it right the first time. And hopefully these buttons are going to perform really well when we get the 16 Pro Max in hand. So the first case that we're going to check out is going to be the Subcase Unicorn Beetle Mag. Now, what they decided to do was put a button right here. All right. So well, before I put the phone in, let's just take a look at the button. This button on top has little dots on it. It's comprised of little dots, and this is going to allow the button to be capacitive, to be touch capacitive still. So you'll be able to still put the pressure points and different things like that when it comes to this button right here. Now, this has surprised me because a lot of companies didn't do this, and I felt like this was the correct way to go about it. Now, once again, time will tell how this button works, but thank you, Subcase. And this does tell me that companies at least are going to try, or if this succeeds, just fine. And I'm pretty sure they tested it. Well, hopefully. I don't know if you can test it if you don't have a capacitive button, a phone that has that feature yet, but hopefully this does work. And if it does work, there's going to be no excuses for other brands like Spigen, Mouse, any case, any rock form, any case that I go out here and grab. There's no excuse to why you can't make a capacitive button happen. Now, when you look on the inside of that button, it basically has the same type of little, composed of many dots, just like the outside of the case has. And in my opinion, this is going to be a very good foot, because you're not going to be able to compromise. And I can't even get this phone in this case, but I just kind of want to let you see that it's just going to fit like a normal case, and nothing is going to be compromised when we're talking about fit. All right, everything is going to fit tight because it's just going to be another button right there. So you really don't have to worry about it giving up being any loose, especially a case like this that has very snug corners and very snug sides that go all the way around. So Subcase, if this actually turns out to work, you just put all the other brands on notice to let you know that, look, you can put a little bit of R&D in there and get the button to work just fine. You don't got to deal with no hideous cutout that we've been seeing so many other times. But let's go ahead and go to the holy grail style of cases. This is the case that so many people said they're going to default to, and I'm not even going to lie. This submarine colorway is absolute fire, and I love this thing. I may not like the Apple silicone case that much, but they did it the right way. Apple did these cases the right way when we are talking about these buttons with their ceramic glass buttons. Now, normally on this channel, I always say there's so many different cases that you can go out there. It's better than the 16 Pro Max version. Now, I gotta say, I don't blame you guys if you go with them, man, because Apple decided to do it the right way, the most subtle way, and the most clean way, in my opinion, with that ceramic glass button. Very smooth, looks like it's gonna work just fine. If this came from Apple, then you already know it's gonna be on point and work just fine. On the inside, it just seems like it's a little bit of a rubber covering, but on that outside, this is gonna be what AKA they said it's like a ceramic glass button that's gonna give you all the capacitive touch and all the functions and features that you're gonna need out of that camera control button. And in my opinion, this is going to be the correct way to do it because it just looks so subtle, doesn't look like even anything is there. And this is the first time I cannot fault anybody if they want to go out there and rock a Apple and you never know. T may be rocking the Apple silicone case just simply because the button just works alone. And that's if I even use the damn button. All right. But I'm here to tell you that Apple has done it the right way. And if Subcase has theirs working good, that means that they can also do it. And you can see so many different iterations and designs of this little camera capture button because this is the best way to go about it. All right. Now, I know I love these cases, and I'm pretty sure most of the cases I'm going to probably talk about are going to have these huge cutouts, but these are going to be the way to do it. And if Apple can do it, I'm sure that anybody can do it. And if Subcase can do it, there definitely ain't damn sure reason why all the rest of these case companies out there can't do it. So, you guys let me know in the comment section down below, man. How do you feel about all of these different cutout types? Voice your opinion down low, man, because companies look at these videos. They look at my videos. A lot of brands are probably watching this right now. Feedback is everything when it comes to this, man. You know what my ultimate goal is. If I have direct access to these brands, I want to make sure we can get the best cases possible that we're out there spending our hard-earned money on them because we already know, man, a lot of these cases just aren't that price friendly. So if I'm gonna recommend you to spend 50, 40, 60 some dollars on a case, I want to make sure it's going to be the right way. And the right way to do these buttons are going to be with the actual capacitive buttons on this themselves. So y'all let me know what's down below, man. Should these case companies just like, look, man, come out with another version? Do you go through that whole process of trying to refund people, give people discount codes, ship them updated models? You guys let me know what you feel in the comment section down below, man. Right now, I'm gonna tell you, I know my favorite cases are probably going to have the cutout, but I might resort into something that has the actual button just because it's going to look and feel a little bit more natural when you're talking about holding it in your hand. But if you're a person that's saying, look, T, I don't give nothing about that button. I just need a case that's going to get me protected on day one. Check this video right here where I give you my early best recommendation for cases on the 16 Pro Max that you can go out there and get on Amazon right now.